Good morning. This is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. Seeing a few clouds out there this morning with some mild conditions and slightly breezy. Overall, we'll see mild conditions continue as we move through the morning. Do have a dry front that will move through the area today and bring in some cooler conditions as we move into the evening time frame and into our day tomorrow. Out ahead and along and behind that front, we will see some breezy conditions through the day today. So do have a good chance of seeing a wind advisory as we move through our working hours today. If you take a look at the current surface analysis, we could see that front stretched across the eastern part of the country. That will be pushing through the area as we get into the later part of the morning, early afternoon, seeing those winds shifting out of the northwest. Again, seeing some breezy conditions with that front pushing through. Behind it, we'll see this area of high pressure building down into the region briefly before a disturbance moves through the area tomorrow evening into Thursday, and that's going to bring some rain chances back into the local area. Looking at the current conditions this morning, just a few clouds around 6,000 and 16,000 feet, and seeing a scattered deck at 25,000 feet. Winds out of the west at 9 knots. Some peak winds up around 18 knots this last hour. Temperature 54 degrees, and our relative humidity is at 71%. Taking a look at the current visible satellite, we could see that strip of clouds that's moving across the peninsula at this time. I do expect that to continue pushing through as we move through the morning hours, and we'll see mostly sunny skies as we get into the afternoon time frame, with just some clouds likely around 3,000 feet on the backside of that front. If we look at the short-term high-resolution model, see how things play out today. Again, mild this morning, some slightly breezy, becoming breezy this afternoon, staying fairly mild for the afternoon, but we will see those temperatures cooling off, becoming quite chilly, more seasonable as we move through the overnight, but no precipitation or lightning expected as we move into the day on Wednesday. Right now, it looks like Wednesday will be mostly dry through the day with that disturbance holding off the precip chances until we get into the evening time frame, but we will have a much chillier day with our high temperature struggling to reach 40 for our Wednesday. Going into the evening time frame, that's when we start to see some of that precip chances moving into the local area. We'll see a very slight chance of precip moving in for the later part of Wednesday, but most of it looks to hold off till we get past mainly the midnight time frame. You can see the NAM model here has it pushing in a little bit earlier, and it does show some of that potential wintry mix, mainly off to the west and north of the local area. We'll see a very slight chance of a brief, maybe some brief sleet mixing in for the early part of the evening, but it looks like we're going to be warm enough where things continue as all rain for the most part. So just a very slight chance of any wintry mix. As you can see, most of it staying off to the north and west of the local area. We'll see mainly light rain to possibly some moderate showers embedded within that, and as we move into the start of the day on Thursday, we'll see that rain continuing. We'll see those temperatures becoming a bit more mild as we move into the day on Thursday as well, and might even see a slight chance of an embedded thunderstorm, as you can see some of these stronger cells being indicated on the simulated radar here. And as we continue into the afternoon of Thursday, should see most of the rain start to taper off during the afternoon time, likely by the mid-afternoon. And behind that, we'll start to see clouds starting to break, but we will continue to see temperatures continuing mildly into the evening time frame as we go into Thursday evening. So if we look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, our main weather risk through the day today will be that orange risk for winds at or above 25 knots as we move through mainly the working hours today. Again, with that front pushing through, likely seeing those winds shifting out of the northwest at 10 to 15 knots with peak gusts up around 25 to 26 knots. So again, good chance of seeing that wind advisory as we move through the day today. Additionally, we'll see our high temperature up around 58 degrees. That will likely come later this morning, and then behind the front we'll see those temperatures cooling off slowly as we go into the evening time frame. Mainly partly cloudy conditions. Could see a ceiling briefly around 6,000 feet for the late morning time frame as the front pushes through, but overall it should just stay partly cloudy as we move through the day and into the afternoon. Briefly seeing clear skies and then just some mid and high clouds around as we get into the day on Wednesday. We'll see those winds lighten up out of the north as we move into the morning hours, and that's going to allow Temperatures cool down to around 29 degrees for our low on Wednesday morning. Tides are running normal at this time, and for Wednesday we'll see partly cloudy conditions early, but increasing clouds as we move through the day, eventually becoming mostly cloudy to overcast. Again, a chillier day ahead for Wednesday with a high just around 40 degrees, and that will be fairly brief, likely staying in the upper 30s for much of the day. Do keep green conditions through the Wednesday time frame, as we do expect any precip chances to hold off until the evening time frame. Wednesday night we'll see cloudy conditions, and again that rain becoming likely as we get past midnight time frame. Very slight chance of that sleet mixing in early, but as you can see, a low temperature of 33 degrees. That will be early on, so it should keep any precip above freezing, and mainly just expecting rain at this time. And again, those temperatures will continue to become mild as we go, or gradually rise as we go through the overnight and into the day on Wednesday. So that low of 33 will be early on. Do have that red risk for precip. Good confidence we'll see some rain moving through the area, and we do have an orange risk for those reduced ceilings and visibilities with that rain. A very slight chance of a thunderstorm as we get into the start of the day on Thursday. And looking at Thursday, rain showers likely early on. Do have that red risk continuing for the early part of the day on Thursday, and that's when we pick up a yellow risk for lightning, as we'll have that slightly better chance of a thunderstorm possibly, but just a slight chance, maybe about a 20% chance. Otherwise, slightly breezy as well, particularly as that rain starts to wrap up. We start to see those clouds break. So we do have a yellow risk for those winds at or above 25 knots, so a chance of possibly seeing a period of a wind advisory for Thursday, mainly in the afternoon time frame. And again, as that rain comes to an end, we'll start to see those clouds breaking. Again, should be sometime during the afternoon, likely by mid-afternoon. And we'll see temps continuing to warm as we move through the day and into the evening, with a high of 55, likely later in the day and into the evening. And then again, we'll see those temperatures continue to become mild as we move through the overnight time frame before they start to drop off. And we do keep a yellow risk for reduced ceilings and visibilities with that shower activity for Thursday as well. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.